Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I am thinking of you if you have been dealing with the flooding in the mudslides. We've been seeing water rushing through homes. This has been an intense, slow-moving system. Doesn't need to be a hurricane to cause those problems, especially in the tropics. That's exactly, unfortunately, what we have. Here it is. This is Philippe, such a slow mover. We have the downpours in spots. We have the flooding. I want to get into the mudslides. The rivers, a huge concern even after this departs because of the overall slow motion. We're going to see more water just running off into the rivers. I want to go over the rain totals, the winds, the additional rain totals, by the way, and the timing of all of this, plus Bermuda and Canada. I want to get into you and a new tropical wave that'll be headed toward Trinidad and Tobago in just a couple days. So I want to break that down. Here's a closer look. Virgin Islands in yesterday's video, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. I was talking about being on the edge of it, and we are. Look how close we are to this. Again, a little wobble into our direction. We're going to see that rain picking up. St. Croix, St. Thomas, for example. I'll be watching this very carefully. Puerto Rico, heaviest rain just to the east, but that rain will be picking up throughout the day in Anguilla. St. Martin over toward St. Bart's. Saba, we have some of the rain around. The potential of mudslides, huge concern. Watching over towards Statia. St. Kitts and Nevis and Antigua, Barbuda. It's been stormy all night. Montserrat, we're going to see things staying intense and getting even more intense at times today. Guadeloupe and Dominica. We had the mudslides. We have the flooding. Again, thinking of you, you may have been seeing the scenes over the last 24 hours with all of this moving in. So extreme flooding will continue in some spots. That is unfortunately on track through tomorrow. Life-threatening flooding, of course, with the water just rushing down and the rivers still on the rise in spots. So we're going to be seeing that over the next couple days. The river's still a huge threat. Mudslides, so watching homes, businesses, we've been seeing those getting damaged in some circumstances, washed away, and additional power outages. We've had a lot of power outages. Plenty of schools are closed in various islands today just because of this system moving in such a slow mover. Now, it's just incredible that the northeastern Caribbean, we've been the driest in almost all of the region, and now we're getting the rain, but unfortunately getting it all at once. So this is today through this evening. Look at that rain. Again, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, we're on the edge of it. I'll keep an eye on us as we go throughout the day. Dominica, Martinique, even St. Lucia, Barbados. It doesn't take much more to add to the flooding issues since we've had so much, but watching that rain, Anguilla down through Antigua, Barbuda tonight, St. Martin and St. Bart's in the zoomed in look. This is by tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow morning, the system, Philippe, yeah, it lifts to the north. The center is lifting to the north, but all the action is displaced from the center. So still, even late tomorrow, we may get these feeder bands stretching in. And where we get these, we could still have heavy rain. That could mean additional flooding by tomorrow night. Saba, Statia, St. Kitts and Nevis. So again, a prolonged flood event with this system. Now, as far as the winds go, and I want to show you the rain in a second, and then look down the road to Bermuda, parts of Canada, and get back to that next tropical wave. Winds, they are gusty at times, especially if you get those downpours. Now, we've had some of the power outages. Some power has been shut off just on its own. Some of the companies do that. Now, winds are going to be coming strong out of the south throughout the day today and tonight. We've had stronger winds, but these are really gusty winds, 56 kilometers an hour or 35 miles per hour, gusting to about 50 miles per hour, or that's 80 kilometers an hour. Got kilometers an hour and miles per hour on there to keep you covered. It'll be windy still for tomorrow morning, core of the system lifting up to the north, and then the winds will start to subside. Looking at the models, again, the center has been on track moving to the west-northwest, then eventually taking a curve. Because the system, though, has been weaker overall with the winds, that allowed it to go more to the west. We were talking about that together, I think 3 or 4 days ago. If it were to be stronger, that would make a curve sooner. But since it stayed weaker and slower, it just drifted into our direction. Now, while the center will move to the north, still the wind shear I showed you in yesterday's video pushes all of that wet weather into our direction, hence that flooding issue. And then down the road, here's Bermuda, Atlantic region of Canada. I'm going to expand out the model. I'll show you that in a second. Let's get to the rain totals. This, unfortunately, is on top of what we've already had. I mentioned St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe. We've already had intense flooding in spots, even Barbados. I'll get to Barbados in a second. We could see an additional 100 millimeters of rain in Guadeloupe. That's terrible. Again, that leads to the life-threatening flooding. We've already had the flooding. Montserrat, Ceiba Station, where you're seeing the white, the black shading, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, upwards of 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain. That is intense stuff. Right on the edge of it, St. Croix, for example, we could see some spots getting 4 inches of rain. I just kind of got to wait and see. I'm not positive for the Virgin Islands and extreme eastern Puerto Rico. If it drifts a little bit closer, obviously we'll see those higher totals. Southern zones, again, not as much from St. Lucia, Barbados, although we could see a little bit more, but things starting to cut off down through St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad, and Tobago. But look at that offshore. We have another tropical wave that is going to be working in. I'll show you that in the expanded view in a moment. Forecast itself on track, but the wind shear has really displaced all of the rain and gusty winds more to the south and across the eastern and in particular now the northeastern Caribbean. So here's the big picture on where this will go next, and then I'll zoom back into the Caribbean plus a system in the eastern Pacific. So much to cover. Now, as this lifts up to the north by Friday, it will be close to Bermuda. Here's Bermuda, but the issue is when it lifts to the north, I'm not sure if it's going to get tied into a front or not, but either way, increased rain on Friday into early Saturday in Bermuda. We'll have some gusty winds around. Then down the road, what's left of it tries to move to the north, anywhere from Nova Scotia back toward, Newfoundland. So we'll be seeing increased rain by the time we get into the second half of the weekend, but it may get tied in with a front. But the Atlantic region of Canada, I'm watching you down the road Sunday into Monday. Now, this name is the only name we've got going out there on the Atlantic side. Philippe, we already had Rena, Sean, Tammy, Vincent, Whitney. If we get through the list, there's a secondary list that comes into play, and this has been a very busy season. Now, here's the broad picture. We've had some flooding rain in the Bahamas, not tied to Philippe. Cuba, we've got some scattered showers and storms. Jamaica, we could have some stronger storms today. My friends in Jamaica, again, heads up, even Haiti, in the Dominican Republic, some stronger storms. This out here, you see here on the eastern Pacific side, this is Lydia. A lot of moisture has been coming out of Costa Rica and Panama. Lydia winds right now at about 40 miles per hour, moving to the northwest right now. That'll stay to the southwest. It will stay away from the southwest coast of Mexico out there. Hasn't been much activity in the Pacific, at least the East Pacific. But again, Lydia is out there now, a tropical storm. So watching scattered showers and storms, Belize south. I'll break down those forecasts earlier. This is, or in a bit, I should say, this is the high concern here in the northeastern Caribbean. Let me get into the next tropical wave. Now, look at your screen here. I did cover this in depth. Watch this tomorrow. Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, scattered rain and storms. Some will be strong, not tied to Philippe, but then you see this blob of rain right here. Watch what happens as we work our way out in time. That moves in. That's the next tropical wave. Trinidad and Tobago. I'm giving you the heads up. Again, share this channel, this information. It is not going to be a named system, but we are going to see that flood threat on Thursday in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, being very clear about that, giving you the heads up. We've got a tropical wave moving in, increased rain, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, as we work our way into Thursday. So, of course, dealing with what we've got going on now with Philippe, but another tropical wave moving in, and this one's a pretty strong one. So at least some isolated flooding in Trinidad as we get into Thursday. Now, Antigua and Barbuda, of course, all eyes on this system with the additional flooding, super high chance of rain, watching out for the tropical storm conditions. St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat. Please be safe throughout the day. Where the water typically rises in a situation like this or kind of rushes and funnels to, please do your best to avoid. I know we all have different means. It is very challenging. We're going to be seeing extreme runoff in Anguilla, the high chance of rain as we work our way into the day today. St. Martin, Ceiba Station covered us. Again, the high chance of tropical storm conditions continue. Guadeloupe, any additional rain leads to more intense flooding, and we've already been dealing with it overnight. Same thing in Dominica, rain chance about 90%. That's really already panned out. Concern is even a little additional rain causes some big problems. Martinique, heaviest stuff to the north. We may still get some bands of rain in Martinique today. Barbados, rain chance 40%. But again, by Thursday, it starts to pick up. That's the next tropical wave in St. Lucia. Again, watching out for some additional rain. And you see that chance of rain in Puerto Rico. Scattered storms. Eastern Puerto Rico, monitoring how close the moisture from Philippe gets. And U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Again, if you're in one of the islands that are closer to Philippe itself, watching out for the possibility of flooding. A little wobble into our direction increases that chance of rain. I'll be watching that throughout the day. Trinidad and Tobago, I'll give you that early heads up that on Thursday, we have that flood potential that will be around with another tropical wave. Jamaica, some of these storms will be strong, scattered about the next few days, a 40 to 50% chance as we get back through the Cayman Islands. Isolated the next couple days in Grenada, but on Thursday, that next tropical wave works in. Next tropical wave will bring a 60% chance of rain and storms. St. Vincent of the Grenadines Thursday and Thursday night. Belize, some scattered showers and storms, a 60% chance in the Bahamas. Additional flooding, northern and central Bahamas, especially watching you. We've had some stronger storms. 30% chance Yucatan and Mexico. 40% chance today in the Turks and Caicos. Haiti and the Dominican Republic. If you get some storms, they could be on the strong side, especially tomorrow. The atmosphere is conducive for some stronger storms, especially on our Wednesday. Cuba, scattered storms. We've already seen some around this morning. Limited chance of rain, but bumping up a notch. Hopefully we get at least a passing shower. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire over the next couple days. Costa Rica, rain chance stays elevated through Panama. 40% chance the next couple days in northern Venezuela. Northeastern Venezuela, closer to Trinidad. Rain chance higher with that next tropical wave coming in on Thursday. Guyana, with that tropical wave, rain chance will eventually bump up. And in Suriname, a little bump in some of the rain chances, 30% by the time we get into Thursday, holding on to a 20% chance in Bermuda. But again, keep an eye on, especially late in the weekend, to see how close Philippe gets. It may tie in with the front. So the Philippe flooding continues. It'll be pulling off to the north, especially by tomorrow. But even then, some of those feeder bands creep in and increase that chance of rain. And then that next tropical wave arriving by Thursday. Super busy. I'm thinking of you. If you're dealing with the flooding, I'll be watching things throughout the day very carefully, especially if forecast is on track, but especially through the Virgin Islands, just to see how close this gets. Put your location in the comments, what you've got going on, even if you don't have anything, as we build this weather community. Very helpful in such a big flooding situation like this. So I'll keep you posted on Tropical Storm Philippe as it impacts parts of the Caribbean. Please be safe. Have a good rest of your day.